What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? All right, man. This your boy, Chris King from Durham, North Carolina. 37 years old. I was born August 30th, 1985. So, back in the good old days, as we call it, before all these computers and internets and all that, we didn't have like Google. You can ask any question, you know what I mean? Back in the day when I was growing up, like, if you wanted to know what Mr. Patterson was doing and if you could borrow his you had to, if he lived 30 miles away, you had to take that drive or take that walk or whatever. So, just having all the answers at your fingertips, I don't think is good for you because it's about the journey too when you acquire knowledge. So, anyways, so, if 1985 I was born, 2005 I should be 20 years old. So, about 20 years old. So, this is probably in about 1999 and 2000s. The only thing we had was we could go to the library and use computers. And of course, like, you couldn't just search up whatever you wanted to and do all this crazy stuff now. These are just like the regular computer and library and school computers. They were I believe like Macintoshes, and they were like all grayish, blackish with like green letters. You know what I mean? And it was like really low tech compared to these days. Just imagine people that are younger, guy 21, 22, girl 21, 22. Just imagine like, the world was a lot different back then. Things moved a lot slower. This internet has sped us up, and it was just it was a different time. So, what I'm trying to explain here is that if you were searching for knowledge at that point in the year 2000, like I was, or 1999, 2000s, somewhere in that point is when this started. You had to go out. So I always had a heart for the homeless. Where I'm from, Durham, North Carolina. Doesn't sound like a scary place, but look it up. It's really bad gangs, drugs, all types of crap, and homeless people everywhere. And it's not like Skid Row or nothing, but I always had a heart for these people because I know that a person makes a mistake, and sometimes that mistake can spiral your life out. I've been there with some mistakes of mine, and I had to do some jail time and stuff a few times, just because I was hard-headed, and I didn't like the fact that, police officers could just pull up on me in traffic while I'm walking down the road, whatever, and they did, and just like get out and number one, like use excessive force, you know what I mean, and then just like lock me up for nothing. I didn't like that, so I fought the police, I had double assault on police officer charges back to back at one point when I was younger. So, back to it. So I see this guy on the corner of, the main street. There's, back here, I'm not gonna say the name of the street. So I go get food up here on this other big street. It's like a main street. And so I take a right and on the exit ramp, and I see this veteran, and I see him in full military gear. My family was all military, pretty much. Nobody, me, my brother, my dad, or uncles or cousins. It was just my grandfather was a pretty big, heavy guy in World War II. That's a different story. So, I see this guy and he's a soldier, and like he's missing his legs from the kneecaps down. So he just has like two little nubs he's sitting on, and you know, uh, man, he was always sweating, man, and he always called me Shadow Wolf. You know, he was Shadow Wolf was his call sign, and you know he was screwed up from the Iraqi war, and they called him the. I spoke to one of my Marine friends. Shout out Ronnie Saveda. They called him the Angel of Death in like Iraq or Afghanistan or something like that. And I'm telling Ronnie, you know, who was, you know, who I was chilling with, you know, Saveda tight at the time, and he was a Marine, you know, he still is a Marine, but he, you know, he went Operation Iraqi Freedom, you know what I mean, when they were just breaching the whole Middle East. So like he's like, I'm talking to him and he's like, oh, his name was this, oh, he looked like this, da 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 da. Oh, he said he killed all these people, and this guy's telling me these intricate stories, and he's like, yo, you know who you just met, bro? He was like, amongst Marines, this guy's like a god. You know, he said that's the Angel of Death, and I said, no way. I said, bro, um, like, uh, you know, I was like, you know, it's right up the street, bro. Like, the dude's up on the corner and shit. And he was like, what? And he just kind of like got thrown off. I was like, you should come up there with me if you want to meet him. And he was like, no, I don't want to meet him. Because, like, everybody feared and respected him that much. Because what this guy did is he had a bunch of Kevlar, you know, bulletproof. But he had like a bomb suit-ish type thing on, but it was like a lot of armor, but you know, it was like a bomb suit. It covered like everything pretty much that he could. And some type of, you know, level 3, you know, past that, you know, level higher than level 3, you know, armor. So, you know, so he you know, he's coming around corners and he's like, sees like a bunch of Al Qaeda, I believe this, yeah, it was Al Qaeda, and you know, Saddam Hussein. This was what this one was about, this war, and you know, he comes around, and the dudes just light him up while he's shooting at like 7 or 8, you know, Iraqi civilian soldiers, you know, or from the army, Iraqi army, whatever. They got machine guns. It's 7, 8 dudes just unloading on him, and like the like bomb suit ish type of armor he had on was crazy. So like, you know, he literally could take like 15 to 20 rounds before he had to start backing up. You understand? So like they were seeing him take all these shots and you know, it not like falling to the ground and dying, and they were like, he's a devil. He's like the devil. He's a demon. I mean, and then, you know, he said, you know, just to start it, so he could start fucking with him, is what he said. It's actually a strategic military thing he did. But so he, you know, he jumps around the first corner, 7 or 8 guys. He unloads on them, shoots like almost all of them, you know what I mean, or shoots half of them are dead. They light him up, okay? He sits back down around, he's like in an alley or something, and it's like blocks, just like it is in the United States of America. So it's like an alleyway, straight street. So he just sits down for a minute and he like breathes, he gets his stuff together. He probably got hit like, you know, like 4 or 5 times, you know what I mean, this first time. So like he's holding, you know, his he had an M29 Saul, which is like a big assault rifle that you know, usually squad leaders, I think, carry them. Anyway, it has 650 round magazines, okay, shaped like a house. So like, listen, dude, like this dude's got multiple magazines, 650. He's probably got like 10 of them, and he's just ripping out there. So he comes around the next corner, boom, there's like 5 more guys, and he just starts pop, 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 shooting them like fish in a barrel. This whole time, these guys are getting shot and killed. A lot of them were shot and killed by him, but like they were returning fire. So, the man was taking some flack. So that's, another 2 bullets, 3 bullets maybe that he took coming around that corner. And he would just keep coming around corners. He was doing a guerrilla war tactical movement, by bombarding the enemy over and over again. Especially the fact that, these people still believe in, all this crazy stuff. It's mostly Islam people over there, so they believe in the jinn, so like they literally think this guy's evil, like incarnate from hell or something. I mean, imagine if you heard about that and like, they didn't know nothing about the body armor and all that. And who would have thought, right? Who would have thought about the body armor? So, he, just to end the story, he told me the rest of the story. As far as he went, really was a couple more blocks that he hit up. And every time he got from the back to the front of the block, it was like anywhere from like 2 or 3 Iraqi enemy soldiers, or it was like 7 to 12. Sometimes it was like groups of 25 people, like, and he was just bailing on them. So like, there's people that like have just seen him kill their friends like on the 3rd alley that he hit, and that they see him on the 6th alley again when they probably get back up with another group because their group got killed, and you're seeing the same guy coming again, and you tagged him like 5 times and like in the chest or something. You hit him in the head one time, and you see him come around the corner again. That is something. That's a crazy story. So I just wanted to tell you that story so you know what type of individuals I was dealing with. Now, if I'm gonna what I want to know is like, are we being controlled by the government? What's up with this mark of the beast thing? Because in like the year 1999, the New World Order was already in effect. And like, man, we got goosed because like it was always like you would get this fake news, from the enemy. It's like talking about the New World Order's coming, the New World Order's coming. That's how they all tricked us because it was already there. We were using barcodes to scan things. If you didn't have a barcode, you couldn't scan it and you couldn't do business. You can't buy or sell or all that. You can't go to the grocery store without using barcodes. I'll tell you about the barcodes later though. So listen, this guy, this soldier, right? I start like giving him a ride back to his hotel. Like I'd stop by every 2 or 3 times I rode by him and get out, smoke a cigarette with him, let him get a cigarette, give him $2 or $3, and just talk to him. So he told me my call sign was Bull, and he was like completely out of his mind. He was like doing cocaine and shit too. Like he was a crazy motherfucker. I think he was a ranger in the army. That's weird because my buddy, I always thought that this guy was a Marine because the Marine friend I had, Ronnie Saveda, knows who he was. No, I think he was a Marine, so back to it. Anyways, so he's like, your call sign is Bull, and he would always just say weird shit to me like that, and I was like, the fuck do I need a call sign for? And he would call me PTSD and out like, Bull, and doing call signs and shit like the military, but like they were a little off, but they were actual real deal, like Bravo Echo 11 and shit, like but he was like a lot of times he was like high as fuck, having some like fucked up flashbacks. So the guy was a mess when I met him. So he gives me some pieces of paper. So if you wanted to learn about shit like this back then, everybody in town, anywhere in the USA or anywhere in the world at this time would be like, I don't want to talk about this shit. it like they like you know you get thrown in a crazy war talking about, oh, I just got a couple pieces of paper. It's talking about the Illuminati and the New World Order and like what the real deal is, Mark of the Beast coming, and they were always talking about microchips. So like these microchips was a weird thing because the microchip was supposed to have like a barcode type thing on it. Now, what I'm gonna teach you right here, we'll go ahead and shut y'all up that are sitting there like this dude's not got no basis on what he's talking about. Look at this. You see on the very left side, the very middle, and the very right side, this barcode? You see how right up down here there's those two little lines? See how there's two little lines in the middle just like it and two little lines on the outside of it. You get it? Well, alright. Those two little lines right there in the middle, that means 6 in binary barcode language code. Look it up. The two little spots right there, two little bars coming down, that's a 6. Two little bars coming down, that's a 6. So 6, 6, 6. You can't buy or sell unless you have the mark. It's on like 90% of stuff we have. Some stuff it's not on, but it's very few items. Now, in 1999, I'm sitting here reading pieces of paper, and it's talking about barcodes and using these chips. Well, even back then, we had very advanced technology. So like, the chip was gonna be like the size of it. It was gonna be the mark of the beast. I was raised Christian, and it's just an awesome topic too, just to research and But I grew up Christian, so these were my beliefs, and still are today, to be honest. But I am starting to read a little bit of the Quran. I'm about to start. I got a Quran from one of my Islamic brothers, so we're seeing all these things, right? And I got more pieces of paper, and this goes into like the Bavarian Illuminati and Adam Weishaupt and all this. And then the plan is pretty much to for the Jewish people to like use the protocols of the Elders of Zion book, like to like slave and control all of us in America and stuff, and own us like cattle. And they do now. And man, this is like 1998, 2002. I'm sitting here trying to talk to my family and people about this. I was so far ahead of my time. I had all the knowledge, man. I had a buddy named his first name was Happy Harold Henson. Um, Shout out to my guy. So we're together, and he's the one that got me on this stuff. And he had like, a bunch of pieces of paper too with a bunch of stuff written on it. And it's like, we didn't want this to be real. Like, we're just a bunch of potheads, you know what I mean? And like, conspiracy, bro, it's gotta be the government, But then like, I read Big Brother, 1984 by George Orwell years and years ago, like 15, 20 years ago, probably, like 20 years ago, and 22 years, 23 years ago. And that opened my eyes to some stuff. So like I just showed you the barcode thing, right? I'll show you some other barcodes from everything around me in a minute, just to show you what I'm talking about is real. You can look it up for yourself. So like, I remember when like, I don't know if the barcodes back then had that code on them. I'm not sure, but like, I connected like the Freemasonic lodges to this shit, and how like Adam Weishaupt, he was a Freemason and all that, and then I connected all this stuff with Freemasonry, Luciferian doctrine, and you know, I was reading the letter about the three world wars that was written in like the 1600s from Albert Pike to a guy named Maziani, who was like an Italian, I believe, Freemason. And Albert Pike was the commander of the Southern Cross. So that was like he was the biggest Scottish Rite Freemason in all of the South of America. Like so, like it's a big he was the commander of the Southern Cross. He was like the president of the Southern states for Freemasonry, and he wrote a lot of books on Freemasonry and stuff like that. But even I'm reading this stuff back in 1999, 1996 and stuff. Listen, he said, the one and only true God is Lucifer and the light bearer and blah blah blah, and they must and I'm sitting here reading this stuff. I'm not even talking about the three world wars written out, why they were doing it, for what purpose, and who they were gonna make fight each other and shit. And they made it up hundreds of years before they started. And the Third World War still working like clockwork. I'm reading this stuff in like 1999, and I'm flipping out because like it was already actively working then too, and it just tripped me out how like we were being so fooled. Um, but this is what I'm gonna tell you about these guys, though. They believe that Yahweh is actually the bad God that's like, controlling us and blah 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 blah, like, and he's a bad God. He's actually the bad guy, and that Lucifer's actually the good guy. And they have some reasoning behind that, and I won't get into that. I mean, I got a lot of Mason friends, and I was about to join a lodge at one time for at first, but then I got a letter that told me come back in 6 months, and probably because like I was selling weed back then, and I'm trying to be a Mason. I was just trying to get into this historic relics, the Crusaders, what was the Templar Knights and shit like that. I thought was amazing. But like the Templar Knights, like what they worshipped was they found a statue of the Baphomet, if you know what that is. It's like, that goat looking thing and with the titties and the pussy or whatever, or the dick or something. Listen, they found like a little statue like that and started worshiping it. That's what at least the church put against them as crimes, and burned a lot of them at the stake at one point. So, listen, so like I'm petitioning for a Masonic lodge, and just local lodge, and I had studied the Luciferian doctrine inside the Masonic community, and with all, like, to a T, to where like I was more in tune on what was really going on when when I was just petitioning. So I was just saying, hey, I signed this piece of paper, it says I do a free man, sign this blah blah blah, put my name on it. I felt weird when I signed my name. It's like I signed my name away, but it was fine. And I kind of wanted it Masonry to not be like satanic. I kind of wanted to prove that it wasn't. And like back then, like I'm saying, there's not all these computers and all this phone in your pocket, computer in your pocket technology. So you had to network with people, and it was a good networking system. or I was gonna just go inside of it and tear it down from the insides. But I didn't end up doing that. But listen, like, the shit you hear is true. Okay? Yeah, if y'all are Masons out there, y'all hear me. Okay? In the most ancient and free and accepted masonry. You know what I'm talking about? So tell me why this. Tell me why in the 33rd degree room, where only the elders, the top dogs, can go. Probably what, like two or three of them at your lodge, right? Unless you figure a small lodge. Otherwise, there's probably more than that. Regular lodge, about like 30, 40 guys at the most, maybe less, probably less. So listen, you can't, if you're just a third degree master mason, first degree apprentice, I mean, or, whatever, man, you're on your 3, 5, and 7s, you know what I mean? You're moving on up. Well, look, man, a lot of people involved in Freemasonry don't understand the Luciferian doctrine. And what I mean is like pure evil playing out. And I think it's too much. Because, like, I have a guy that, I won't say his name, but, he's up there with my family because of my father's business and his father's business that was so lucrative money wise and just giving people jobs wise and all that. So the 1%ers of the community. So he's a Freemason now, and like this is a good guy. So like I doubt, like I know these people are getting ran and doing all this stuff, and they just don't get it. And like I was talking to a Mason friend of mine one time, and he told me that the pentagram. That's what I meant about the room, 33rd room. When you go in there, there's a pentagram. If there's a carpet lifted up, there's always a pentagram in that room, an inverted star with a circle around it. Yes, sir. You know, or just one right side up with a circle around it. If it's on the floor and you walk around the room at different angles, it looks like something different, right? Then people tell you that's a pagan symbol of protection. Well, like, I don't know, buddy. All I've seen that symbol is bad shit. So like, a lot of these guys don't know. And but there is a Luciferian doctrine being worked on, the New World Order, and way past that right now. Like the Illuminati's not even in control. Like the Illuminati, Adam Weishaupt, those guys were like, you know what I'm saying, formed in like the 1700s, I think. Do you think the Illuminati's still around? No, bro. It's like their kids is kids is kids. And if anything's the Illuminati right now, Elon Musk is. So look, like I I sat back and I watched this stuff like build and build and build, and I watched it build from a spot where like I'm talking about. I remember being alive in the '80s, man. It was so wonderful. Like you had a house phone, and that's the only phone you had. You probably had a TV in one room, and other than that, what do you think people did? Like, I mean, like, what do you think we did if we didn't have all these TVs and electronic equipment and phones and all that to keep us? What do you think we did for fun? I mean, like, we went outside, you know what I mean? We traveled places, we did fun shit. Like, y'all are all under a spell. Y'all are all under a spell with these fucking phones, man. It's called the iPhone, okay? Like, get your mind right, bro. Like, come on, it's called the iPhone, you dumbass. Now listen. If I took your phone, if I said give me your phone and I took it and I broke it right there, right in front of you, even I would too. but you would freak out, right? Well, like, how much of your soul and the information that you should be holding in your head that's private, how much have you put on there? Like, the enemy is getting to know you real well right now. And, even when you get a contract for a phone at Verizon, it's this third party shit. That's why these apps are free because they're following everywhere you go and listening to everything you say. Now, listen, like in that book 1984 by George Orwell, it was like the same thing. Like you couldn't talk, so like they would only talk in certain places, and they're whispering to each other's ears because everywhere they have speakers, and that's true now. Like you can't just leave the U.S. if you want to. Like you just can't. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can go on a little vacation and come on back, but listen, your property. You guys haven't you younger guys, and I'm talking about 20-year-olds and shit right now in 2023 and stuff like that, just general age, general idea. Like, what I'm trying to convey to you is that, like, I've watched this go from, like, no phones with internet, no crazy tell you anything that you want to know just by asking Siri or Google, taking pictures and sending it to Google and it tells you exactly what the thing is. Like, listen, like this thing used to be called the ARCANET. Now, ARCANET kind of sounds like something good, so maybe it was supposed to be, the internet was supposed to be good or something at first, but listen, like, it's a web that's covered everywhere and y'all don't see the evil in it. And what's evolving out of this electronics is AI. Listen, man, you don't want to do that. You don't want to make AI. Just fuck it, clean your house yourself. You don't need a maid. What the fuck do we need AI for? Oh, you know why they really need it? So they can send a bunch of AIs to shoot a bunch of other AIs in wars and stuff. Like, this shit's ridiculous, y'all. Like, y'all are really believing this shit? Like, since 1985, since I've been born, I've been watching. I've been feel like it's like I'm living in a movie, like, cause I'm just watching this stuff unpeel. See, like I remember when I just had a pager. If you don't know what a pager is, it's like a little box about this big, has a little clip, so you clipped it to your pocket. I had the first clear one when it came out. It was like clear grayish, yeah, and it was the first one that didn't beep beep beep. It had the vibrate mode too. Rest in peace to her, but this beautiful chick I was messing with at the time said, "Oh, you like that vibrating mode, don't you?" Because I was like, "Oh, it vibrates." But look, like, that with that pager, I'd see you sent me a message, and what it would be was you could type out like a phone number, you know, so I'd know who to call back. But then we had like weird ways of sending messages through numbers, and that's some real genius shit. I'm not even gonna get into that. So you could talk back and forth on the pagers as sending numbers, And anyways, like, so listen, so like I wasn't all controlled by this shit like we are now, but I am now in full control by this whole web and this whole system of these phones and these tablets. I mean, think about it, dude. They'll damn near give you a phone or a tablet for free. Like, why? Like, why? 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 Like, why are y'all steadily eating this bullshit, man? If you don't think what I'm saying is true, you are fairly fucking mistaken, bro. The reason I'm saying this is because like I'm dropping some national security problem shit right here. But I am gonna drop this because listen, I'm trying to speak to guys and girls that are around 20 years old and stuff like that. Just for an example age, younger ones that didn't have the experience I had of growing up and watching something unfold so unholy. Um, yeah, man, it's called the iPhone. The eye, all-seeing eye, pyramid eye, and all that. Yeah, it's called the iPhone, so that's weird, right? And then it has a picture of an apple with a bite taken out of it. Now, let's think of where in the world we've heard That's right, in the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, Eve took a bite out of the fruit that was the forbidden fruit. You know what that was? That was too much knowledge. Then they knew they were naked. Then they knew of good and bad and all this stuff. And God, they say in the Bible wanted to keep us just regular or whatever. I don't know. So that's what that means. You see that little apple with the bite taken out of it? It's a forbidden knowledge, right? Like, let's just say it's not coming from good old God in the sky, okay? And this is, this is not entertainment purposes. This is me telling y'all the real deal. I don't want it to be like, I really wish there wasn't this God and this devil and they weren't good and evil, but and it was just like, that was dumb, bullshit, fake, and I tried to just let go of all that religion and all that and just be spiritual and, just after 37 years, bro, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen some stuff right in front of me, bro, you know what I mean? That you ain't supposed to see. And, listen, man, since this pandemic broke out, it's just like, what they were doing was trying to test you to see if you would do whatever they told you to do. And it probably helped out their facial recognition system because your mouth's moving so they can't get a clear view. They can just connect all them dots up here. So I think it was a way to help that advance too. There's facial recognition, bro. Listen, man, what these people have done is casted a spell over us and controlled us. And if you don't think you have a spell casted on you and you're controlled, you sit around all day staring at this thing at your hand. Just like a fucking dumbass, just like I do all day too. I gotta work on it too. I'm not perfect. But listen, man, that's a spell. Listen, a spell, when you spell a word, that's a spell, okay? When you, us all using these iPhones, why did we just all of a sudden love this technology they threw at us? They said, would you love the mark of the, well, you wouldn't say fuck the mark of the beast, you'd be like, please give it to me. So this technology's out, and so it's kind of, it's called the iPhone, right? There you go. The Illuminati eye, you know what I mean? And then it's got the apple with the bite taken out of it. If you have any way to explain those circumstances to me that doesn't go with what I'm saying right here, be free to drop a comment, okay? Listen, you guys need to wake up. This is a spiritual war. It is not flesh and blood that we fight against. It is, dark forces. And, just think about it, man. When you have sex with your girlfriend or wife, they watch you, man. These TVs, I noticed back in the day, in the fucking late 90s, that when you would turn a TV off, it wouldn't be blue button or green button or something no more that it was on. It'd be a red button that's still on. And then the TV's plugged in and you could hear a little eerie kind of buzz, the houses are full of buzzes from electronics, and it drives me crazy because I remember, being born and coming into this world and there wasn't a bunch of electronics around me. What this is doing to y'all is it's hurting you. It's when you have a calculator, so you can't do the math in your head anymore. So that's bullshit. So that means you can't do math at all anymore, and they're taking that right away from you by giving you the calculator. But you love it, because it's so easy. Well, life isn't easy, okay? So look at that on a mass level of how much time we spend on these internet devices and shit, and these phones and shit, bro. Netflix fix everything. Nobody's outside, nobody's walking around, nobody's free spirited. And all those shows you see on TV and music that you hear, the music, it's chanting. There's three verses, then there's a verse, then it's three verses chanting. It's a fucking spell, bro. You know, when you cast something to your TV, you're casting a spell to your TV. If you're casting something from YouTube to your smart TV. Like, this is out of hand. They're watching you through the screen. Like, you have no privacy anymore. And listen, you think it's no big problem now, but wait until they start enacting laws and shit where, you know, they start for real, like, come running up in your crib for, you know, just some dumb shit. You know, and they can just come run up in your house right now and just occupy it. And the Sixth Amendment's about soldiers not being able to occupy. Well, I've had them come to my house and like step right in when I open the doors. Oh shit, it's the police. You know, I've had like 5 to 10 of them step inside my house and talk shit to me and stay there as long as they wanted to. So listen, like the thing is like you don't have a bit of freedom in the world. The only freedom you got is like which girl you want to be with if you're a guy, vice versa, what job you're going to pick. So you're going to be a slave to the man and you're going to make the lowest thing possible. Dude, if you get like $20 or $30 an hour, I don't understand how you live. And I mean like without taxes taken out. It's fucking insane. So like they're crushing all of us right now because we're just going along with it because we think that somebody like me saying stuff like this is silly. And that's fucking crazy, okay? So, I can get more into some things if you guys want to hear it, but listen, I'm just like, you know, throwing up like the Hail Mary to y'all, man. Yo, look, man, this shit's deeper than you know, bro. Like, you know, it's deeper than you know. Look at the star, look at the Starbucks logo. Take your Starbucks logo and turn it upside down, and you know what you'll see? The fucking Baphomet, bro. Yeah, the Baphomet, the horns and shit. Yeah, it's like the devil upside down in it. It's fucking crazy, man. You know, they tell you that you're on a convex ball flying through the universe going 666 miles per hour. Isn't that a weird number? So yeah, we're on a convex ball going 666 miles an hour. Sure. You know, no, dude, that's not the truth. You'll believe anything they tell you. And like 99.9% of y'all probably won't even listen to what I'm saying. I'm probably wasting my breath. But like, I'm gonna get more intricate into some stuff for you guys. But I just want to drop this initial video just to try my skills out on the camera here and just lay my general purpose out. Got a lot of stories to tell about this. And this is an urgent thing. Like, once again, it's a spiritual war. You can't go shoot up a police station or something. They're not the enemy. They're just regular guys with jobs. They don't even know what the whole thing that they're doing, you know? But listen, man, we're not free over here at all. And in the Constitution or amendments or whatever the hell, Constitution or whatever, it says if tyrants take over the tyrants, use the mass numbers of the people and throw them out the White House, whatever. You know, if there's tyrants, that take over our government, we should throw them out. And you know that's what's going on now. And you think it's a game, but like, you know, this goes way deep, man. You know, to where in 100 years, your kids can be playing in a huge 5,000 acre farmhouse out in the middle of wherever beautiful state with 300 acres and just live like normal people, or where they can be smashed up in little pods like they are in Japan and China, in North Korea and shit. Like we're on lockdown like North Korea, bro, and you don't even know it, bro. Like you've been lied to so badly, and it's not your fault. Like I'm not condemning y'all for not knowing what's going on, because you know it's crazy. No one wants to face a reality like this, but you know, if anybody has any questions that y'all want to just ask me off this general topic and everything that I've said, so I clarify or get deeper into something, you know, just ask me, man. Once again, here's another barcode. See the things in the middle, the two things in the middle, two things on the right, and two things on the left. Yep, 666. There's another one. There's another one. It only has a 6 and a 6. 6 on this side and a 6 on that side on my pack of Newports. So maybe I'm safe for these. But you know, let me go back once again and tell y'all this. Monster Energy drink. Yeah, I drink it too. I'm an idiot. But look. First of all, they have Del Muerte, the holiday for the dead, all over their bottle. Like, look at that. Like, skeletons. Okay. But this monster symbol, let me tell you what. See how, like, this top of this one isn't connected fully to that one? That one's connected to that one, but whatever. But listen. That right there in Hebrew, that's an actual Hebrew alphabet. It's one of the letters. That means 6 in Hebrew. 6, 6. Monster, huh? Unleash the beast. Oh yeah, and it's definitely got the 666 on there, on the left, in the middle, and the right side. Y'all still think I'm playing, right? I mean, dude, like, you know, following Halloween each year, friends and family gather to celebrate Dia del Muertos, marigolds, mysticism, and memories combined with food and drink enhance the souls of the departed to join the party. Mango Loco is heavenly blend, blah, blah, blah. Good, crazy good taste with just enough of that monster magic to keep the party going for days. So, I mean, you guys need to understand what we're talking about here, the barcode, and look this up, man. Hebrew alphabet, man. Because, like, A, B, and C have a number significance. Anyways, it's true stuff, man. It's true stuff. It's everywhere in our face, man. It's everywhere in our face, bro. And, like, it's insane. I mean, it's really insane. I'm trying to think of something else I could show y'all real quick. To show. No, man, I'm a little tired, y'all. Fuck it. We'll get to the next video. Love y'all. Peace out, man. Hey, y'all, please listen up to me, man, because at least run these thoughts through your head and try to. If you're not into what I'm saying, cool, I get it. Please don't leave any negative comments. But listen, I'm trying to help some people out there that do want to listen or do just want to take a chance and listen. And listen, I'm not a Bible thumping Christian, you know. I almost don't even consider myself a Christian anymore. I mean, I still believe in some Bible stuff, but that's another long story. But you know,
You know, man, let me show you something else, guys. And this should be so apparent to you, but look. See how it says for sale, everything's $299, $799, $59.99. Okay, check this out. What do you see now? You still don't believe me, do you? You don't see all those triple sixes, triple six, four, quadruple sixes. You don't see that? Why? Why is stuff like that? I just think about stuff like that. It's really weird. And right here too. You see these triple sixes? I'm gonna put you up on game.